We make all the cars wait for us. We must all wait. Even your truck. And I am not waiting in this line. I am turning right. I got into moto vlogging just trying to figure out like what to do, how to get into motorcycles at all. It's about 3 years ago I started wanting to get into it all, and oh man, I thought that bee was in my helmet, or fly, or whatever. It's a fly. He wants to hang out with me. Hello. Oh, bye. Good? Not good. But yeah, so I started watching Ramekin and C2Dub, and I guess a little bit of Downshift back then. I wasn't really worried about trying to wheelie or any of that. But anyway, I started watching all them. Goodness, there's no empty spots. I just want some gas. Slay's gonna think I'm crazy for talking to myself. Alright. So, I figured I'll make my own video. At this time, I've been riding for just about a year. And let's see. I think there are some certain steps you have to follow, or you should follow, to get into motorcycles. But yeah, make sure you really do want to get your bike, because it's a big deal. You're on a probably several $1,000 piece of equipment. It's dangerous. You can't eliminate the risk. You can only minimize it. But, so I guess what I'm saying is figure out, is the risk worth it to you? I just wanted a motorcycle at first. I had a car, I didn't have anything to do, and I was thinking I could get a bike and just ride around. Okay, that's going a little bit fast. I don't think you guys can even hear me at this point. So, I'm going to turn off the camera now, and when I get into town, I'll talk more. Alright. Oh, taking the long way to work today, so I can talk to y'all. Well, this looks like fun. Alright. So where was I? Pretty sure the last thing I was talking about was saying make sure you are sure you want a motorcycle, because it comes with inherent risks, dangers, etc., etc. It's expensive sometimes. Other things, I am riding way too fast. I'm gonna get pulled over. Let's see. Okay, once you're sure you want a bike. Oh, hello. I want to start rebuilding older bikes. That would be fun. Once you're sure you want a bike, you need to get your license. I do not suggest buying your bike before you get your license, because if you buy your bike, you'll ride it, obviously. You'll try and go out and ride it, and if you get caught, you're in trouble, or if you make a newbie mistake, you're in trouble. So, or you're in worse trouble. So, get your license, go to the MSF class. It'll save you a whole bunch on your motorcycle insurance. It saves me like half of my, how much I pay a month. A lot of stores, like a local store here, if you buy a motorcycle from them after you take the MSF class, they give you $200 in gear free. So it basically pays for itself. Once you're done with that, get your license. Once you're done with that, now it's time to pick out what kind of motorcycle you want. I don't know what the speed limit is. It's whatever the car in front of me is doing. How are you going to use your bike? Do you want something that's really comfy so you can just go on long rides? You're talking about something like a cruiser, like a Harley Davidson or an Indian or what have you. I don't know much about those kinds of bikes. Oh, it's 70 in here. That's awesome. I'm not trying to go faster than you, but that's thanks. Maybe you want to go off-roading. Then you should be looking at something like a dual sport or a, oh, I can't even call it what it's called now. You want a dirt bike with road wheels on it. Jake the Garden Snake, what he rides. Motard. Maybe you want a motard. Maybe you want to do stupid wheelies and go really fast and go to the track and have lots of fun going through the mountains. Then you'll want a sport bike. Oh look, a black bug. Texas, where African animals grow. I'm going to assume you want a sport bike, which this is not. This is a standard, it's basically a naked engine bike normally, which is something like a Triumph Bonneville, or this is a GS500, and it's a 500F, which stands for fairings, means that it has the plastics on it, which makes it look like a sports bike, but it's not a sports bike. What you want to avoid, in my opinion, there are people who disagree, but in my opinion, for your first bike, I would not get a Super Sport. It's a Hawk. Super Sports are when you're talking about R6s, gsx-r's, any of the like 1000cc sport, Super Sports. Super sport bikes like the R1, Yamaha R1. Super fast, I mean ridiculously fast, it's a race bike. I would say if it's your first bike and you have no clue how to ride a bike, you get your license, go buy an R1, you'll be done in a week. Now what they have also is the FZ1. Now, that has the same engine as the R1, kind of looks like the R1, but it's been detuned so that it's not as drastic, and it's more comfortable. It's more of a sports bike, not a super sport. That's the difference. Usually, sports bikes, handlebars, bigger seats, they're more comfortable, they sit upright more. Like I'm sitting, this is the actual riding position for how I'm supposed to ride. I just stuck myself in like a retard. Whereas super sports are much more aggressive. They have clip-on handlebars. They make you ride like this all the time. The the rear seat, like the passenger seat on most of them, is a joke. Yeah, don't get a Super Sport for your first bike. Lots of people say, oh yeah, you can start off on a R6 or a Katana 750. I just think that's stupid. I want a 500 standard. This is slow compared to those. I can do 100 pretty easily. Maybe not 100. 100's hard. 115 is the top speed, and 90 is easy. I can get to 90 no problem. It's just once you get to that upper range, it's not nearly as fast. I'm pretty sure I said a Katana earlier, and I meant to say gsx-r. I don't want to pass you. Ugh. A lot of people, they say, alright, I get it, I don't want a Super Sport, I'm gonna get a Ninja 250, a CVR 250R, and I don't know that I agree with those either. I feel like there's just not enough power there. I rode the Ninja 250 for the MSF class, and it was fun. It's fun. And they do make, I suppose, good very first bikes if you really are just going to use them to learn. I go to work, as you can see, it's basically an hour away every day. You can't really do all that as well with a 250. They don't go fast enough all the time. I remember Ramekin doing his top speed video and it was like 96. That's basically the speed I ride at all the time. I can't be riding around full throttle all the time. Now they make Ninja 300, I think Honda just made a 300 or has had one. From what I hear, are that much better than a 250. I actually want to get my hands on a 300 and just see how it is on the turns, because I watched a video the other day, the new KTM 300, which is actually really closer to a 400, is blasting away on the track. This is a GS 500. GS just stands for, it has an overhead cam, and it's a 500cc engine. There's also the Ninja 500, and it's, I would think basically the same bike. I'm sure Honda makes a similar bike, and yeah, I think a 500, not tuned up like a Super Sport bike, if there even is such a thing, but a 500 standard, 500 Sport with handlebars. It's comfortable, it's a little easier to turn at low speeds. It's a good bike. They go fast enough, over 100 miles an hour, and they get there quickly too. I can outrun most cars. Pretty sure I just made 5 minutes worth of talking into like an hour or so, but that's what my suggestion would be. First bike, know what you're doing, get your license, get a 500, maybe a 250, maybe if there's a 600 that's a sport, not a Super Sport. I think those are all very appropriate to learn on. And if it exists, there's probably a motovlogger who rides it. So that's a great way to find out which bike you want, just by watching motovloggers and seeing what the bike you're looking at can do. Now, the other issue, do you buy new or do you try and find a used bike?